This is Houston police body cam video released by police of the moments leading up to and the aftermath of the shooting death of 27-year-old Charion Lockett. The video shows 3 unmarked cars and 1 marked police car with an officer in uniform pulling up to the Lockett family home. Lockett was killed by Houston police on February 7th as they were serving him with a felony warrant for his arrest in connection with an aggravated robbery charge for an incident that allegedly happened in November 2021. Taft Foley, a lawyer for the Lockett family, spoke to Inside Edition Digital.
What happened next is that the police officers secured a warrant based upon new information that wasn't contained in the first warrant. Now, we believe that the information in that second warrant was fraudulently obtained and that it was not good enough for that judge to have issued the second warrant because it didn't contain sufficient probable cause.
Lockett's family says Charion was an only child, a devout churchgoer, and a hard worker who held jobs while simultaneously getting his bachelor's and master's degrees. He was studying for the LSATs at the time of his death.
He's down, he's down, he's down.
Lockett's family says they got a call from authorities at 9:30 a.m. on February 7th, about an hour before the shooting, which is when they say they first learned of the warrant.
The warrant was based solely upon the word of an accuser who was a known criminal. This individual had a rap sheet as long as your arm. Now, bear in mind, our client, Mr. Lockett, had never been arrested or charged with any criminal offense at all whatsoever.
They say officers showed up to the home and, without warning, shot the law student to death. Lockett's family argues the officers never identified themselves as they approached the Lockett's family home, many of them in unmarked vehicles, guns drawn.
As officers approached the residence, Mr. Lockett was sitting inside his vehicle in the driveway. He stepped out and began firing upon officers as he moved towards his front door. 4 officers responded by discharging their duty weapons towards the suspect, striking him. Officers rendered medical aid to the suspect within 4 minutes of the gunfire, but he was pronounced deceased at the scene. No officers were injured during this incident.
Houston police say Lockett was the aggressor, alleging he shot first. Lockett's family is challenging that, alleging cops were the first to start shooting.
I do want to say that Charion Lockett had a firearm on him. He was licensed to carry a firearm. I want to be careful to state once again that this is a young man with no criminal history at all whatsoever, who was carrying a firearm in a lawful manner on his own property. They pulled up in a bright red unmarked car, guns blazing, and Charion Lockett lay dead as a result.
The body cam video police released does not show Lockett firing a weapon at all. How do we get from one extreme to the other? How is this possible?
Well, that's a good question. And that's a question that we're asking of the police department. One of our problems is that individuals in the Black community are not often given the benefit of the doubt. If this warrant was served on an individual in an affluent white community, let's say Bel Air or River Oaks in Houston, Texas, the police would have at least done their due diligence and attempted to interview this individual.
Police body cam video released by authorities shows the moments when they approached the home Lockett was in, when they start firing, and when they pull him out of the home, saying he seemed to be unconscious and unresponsive. There are a few moments in the body cam video where the audio seems to be redacted. The Houston Police Department tells Inside Edition Digital that audio is usually redacted if someone's name is mentioned who is not a part of the investigation or if it's a witness's name. It's unclear if that is the case in this situation. The department says this is the full, unedited version of the body cam video, except for the audio redactions of the incident that took place within that time frame.
They put together carefully orchestrated clips of what happened that day. If you want the truth, then you would put out at least a version of events that happened in chronological order. The way the videos are carefully placed together appears as though shots are fired and police respond to those shots fired. The video doesn't show Charion Lockett firing a single shot. What it does show is an unmarked car pull up, stick the gun out the window, and then shots are fired. At this point, we don't have enough evidence to be able to accurately discern who shot first.
Did any of the police officers involved have any history of disciplinary action taken against them, or even specifically for use of force, excessive use of force?
That's something that we're investigating. We've requested the disciplinary records of these officers. We're waiting for that information to arrive at our office.
Lockett's family says they plan on filing a federal lawsuit against the officers involved. The Houston Police Department told Inside Edition Digital via phone they do not comment on pending litigation. In a statement, the Harris County Sheriff's Office tells Inside Edition Digital, quote, "The Harris County Sheriff's Office is investigating the incident related to the officer-involved shooting of Charion Lockett. When our investigation is completed, it will be turned over to the Harris County District Attorney's Office for them to review. Prosecutors will present to a grand jury for review and charges if applicable. The body-worn camera release is solely done through the Houston Police Department." That before referring us to the mayor's office. The Harris County District Attorney's Office tells Inside Edition Digital in part, quote, "As is our policy in all officer-involved shootings, our civil rights prosecutors will conduct an independent review of all the evidence and present that evidence to a grand jury to determine if criminal charges are warranted." Inside Edition Digital also reached out to the mayor of Houston, who runs the Houston Police Department. They say they have no additional information and referred us back to police. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Stephanie Officer.